Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of sports here on your sports leader, Oregon Sports Beat. Tonight, the semifinals of the Oregon Premier Soccer League from Buckman Field, right by Benson High School. I'm Dave Hall, my broadcast partner Steve Roberts. We're a little slow because the weather conditions are pretty bad. It's raining, the wind is blowing pretty hard. We don't have the names of these two teams' players, so we pretty much will call everybody by their number tonight. Let me set the teams for you. In the red to our right, this is Portland Internationals. To our left in the blue, this is IPS. These are two semifinal teams. The other semifinal match is going on the other field, and as soon as the rain stops and the wind stops blowing a little bit, I'll get you those teams. We're filming that also. Our producer, Ryan Johnson, is over there with the camera. We're here, Jim Thompson running our camera. My partner, Steve Roberts. Steve and I have done a lot of soccer games this year. So, again, this is a semifinal matchup. IPS moving from our left to our right. Portland Internationals from our right to our left.
Should be an interesting game tonight with our weather conditions constantly changing. A combination of wind and rain should make it quite interesting to see how good the control of the ball will be tonight.
We're under a tent, but we forgot to bring anchors to anchor the tent down, and we just about lost it here a minute ago.
So if we start floating away, everybody will know.
If Steve and I are standing in the back holding onto a leg of the tent. Teams were supposed to get rosters in beforehand, 30 minutes beforehand. One of the teams just got here. The other team not able to give us the numbers of the players because they were putting jerseys on for the first time just before they started. So we apologize for not having the names of everybody. We'll try to see if we can get that as we go along. Harvey Hurst, the head coach of IPS, the head coach of the Portland Internationals is Pavel Persia.
So here we go, and Portland International plays the ball first. It's taken away by So we have a couple of changes of possessions here.
All right, if you're not familiar with the location here, this is Buckman Field. It's right next to Benson High School. The head coach of Portland Internationals, Pavel Persia, just came over. He's going to give me the names and numbers of their players, so at least we'll have that. I do have a photograph of the roster for IPS. IPS will defend the goal to our left. IPS with the ball at midfield. Sends it off on the left wing. Yikes. I'm trusting the expertise of Jim Thompson and Ryan Johnson.
On these knots they tied here.
Yes.
I'm neither a sailor nor a Boy Scout.
He just said he's not a sailor, so. Again, this is a semifinal match. This is the Oregon Premier Soccer League. The two semifinal matches going on here at Buckman tonight. Two 45-minute halves. Unfortunately, we do not have a clock either. Let me see if I can estimate this as we go along. Try to give you an idea. It's 7:10 now. We have about 40 minutes left to go, so about 7:50, the first half will be over.
So this could be trouble here. It looks like we're looking for a cross here. Soft touch inside.
And cleared out. Nice job by IPS to clear that back to midfield.
There might have been some call here in the pitch.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we've got numbers now for PDX. So we'll put that away where it stays dry. And if there's a goal, we'll be able to give you the name of the goal scorer. So bear with us tonight. It's a little difficult under the conditions. Nice goal kick that time. Portland Internationals. These teams are made up of a lot of ex-college players.
So we got a kick coming here from about 40 yards from the goal.
Portland Internationals. Internationals forward on the right side.
So did a nice job reversing the field that time, finding some running room. Both teams have been able to get the ball near their goal.
We really haven't had a shot on goal yet. Thanks for joining us here at Buckman Field. Semifinal matchups. Both semifinals are going on here. Portland Internationals come in. There's a shot and there's a goal. There's the goal. Portland Internationals score. Our score 1-0. Portland Internationals lead IPS.
It was a nice run there. He was able to find some running room, the wing on the outside there, and he had two offensive players running with him, and he was able to make a cross away from the goalie, and the first inside player was able to put it into the far side of the net.
All right, a foul. There's a free kick. Send it back to the goalie. Portland Internationals in the red and white. Red jerseys, white shorts, white lettering. Moving from our right to our left, and they have a goal. They lead here 1-0. There's a pass forward, and that's offside.
In that one.
You saw the flag go up immediately. Offsides.
Yeah. Portland International is doing a nice job passing the ball around and finding players out in the wings to get some good running room. Successful in their first shot on goal.
In front of us for Portland Internationals, that's number 30. That is Daniel Tapia. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure on the goal, but I believe it was scored by number 12, and that's Omar Gonzalez. Steve, did you get a better look at the goal score?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay, I think the goal scorer for Portland Internationals was number 12, Omar. Did I get that right? Omar Gomez. There's a ball sent forward.
This could be trouble here.
IPS in.
Nice shot.
A chip shot.
Oh.
Wide right. managed to stop and take a chip shot over the defender, trying to get her past the goalie who would come out. And wide to the right.
Yeah, definitely a nice try there. Goalie was coming out. He had no other choice. Did get the chip over, but a little bit wide. So both teams now have had a shot on goal. Kind of broke that ice.
Portland Internationals. There's the kick out to midfield. There's the ball right in front of us. That's number 30, Daniel Tapia.
Hey, Tony, when we're that high, go.
Throw in
Go, down line.
for IPS.
Hey, before he set, you got to throw that for him. Go, Danny. Good, Danny.
And that ball's out. Throw in coming up.
Go down line before
See the flag go up. Throw in coming up for Portland Internationals. They lead this game 1-0. I'm Dave Hall along with Steve Roberts. Thanks for joining us.
So as you can hear in our background, both teams are doing a lot of talking on the field. Good communication going on.
We are just a few yards off the field, and our crowd mic is able to pick all of that up. Headed out by the defender. IPS sends it in front. The goalie down and scoops it up. Nice save by the goalie there. And there's a foul. Free kick coming up. IPS with the ball at midfield. Sends it out on the wing. And there's the ball coming over here towards us. Throw in coming up for IPS. I had a chance to talk to both head coaches beforehand. Both of them were eagerly anticipating the game. Harvey Hurst, the head coach for IPS. Pavel Persia, the head coach for Portland Internationals. In fact, Pavel just came over a minute ago and gave us numbers for Portland Internationals. IPS moves forward. I don't know, Steve, if you had to say who's controlled the better part of this game, it looks to me like IPS has. However, they trail in the game 1-0.
Yeah, IPS may have had more possession time, but the opportunities are about the same as far as kicks on goal goes. Portland International tends to look deep and find the man in the slot, and then they'll make their pass up. IPS tends to do a lot more short passes inside and looking for opportunities that way.
Portland Internationals come forward to try to get the ball off on the right wing. They have a player out there. See if we can get something in the middle. And pushed off the ball. Throw in coming up for IPS. Over on the right side. If you can hear that noise, that pitter patter, actually it's more loud than that, but it's because our crowd mics are sitting right on the bleachers, the metal bleachers.
So anytime we touch the bleachers, you hear it.
You can hear something too, yeah. There's the ball sent forward, and the goalie goes down and gets it. Off on the side. Here comes Portland International's forward.
So again, they look for that. They look to find a player in the flat there. Nobody's there at this time. Goalie comes way out.
Goalie way out, but a big kick almost out to midfield.
Yeah, IPS, I feel, is one touch away from getting a shot on goal just by watching how they're handling the ball right now.
IPS with the ball.
They bring it back to get reset.
They've moved everybody forward. And Portland Internationals has everybody back.
Yeah, both of these teams are not taking any chances. They're going to play defense, offense, full pitch. You know, they don't want anything to slip through because of this weather and have a mishap that way. You know, the ground's a little damp. The goalies are going to have a hard time. Both defensive teams have done a good job keeping the ball away from goal. We've only had, I think, one shot on goal by each team so far.
I've seen both goalies go down on the ground and scoop balls rather than stay up and you know, maybe slip and fall down. They've gotten set on their knees and scooped the ball. You know, not only does the rain affect the footing on the field, but it affects your vision when it's raining this hard.
It affects your vision. Also, a lot of players are able to bend that ball, and the rain is going to make it difficult to strike that ball in just the right location and get a good touch on it to get that kind of curving shot.
All right, the Internationals goalie has come a long way out of the goal. Of course, action down here in the IPS area. There's a shot wide to the left and over the goal.
So we had a low kick from the corner that time. Looked like they wanted to pass it in and off the middle and get a strike on goal, but it went way high.
Nice kick. IPS
This
goalie.
is trouble here.
Look out, there's the
There it
shot,
is,
there's
yeah.
the goal. IPS, the goalie went down on his knees, and it probably was a mistake because once down there, he couldn't move to either side.
Yeah, it's very hard. Once that player got behind the defense and there was no offsides call, the goalie had to commit one way or the other. The player did a nice job of pushing that ball to the far side of the net, just out of his reach there.
All right, that's the equalizing goal. Our score now, IPS 1, Portland Internationals 1. This is a semifinal matchup of the Oregon Premier Soccer League here on Oregon Sports Beat. We're at Buckman Field, both semifinals going on.
I believe that was number 12 who scored that goal for IPS. There's another opportunity here.
All right, I'll get you the name on that player in just a second. Truth of the matter is, it's too rainy to reach down there and look. Oh.
Oh, okay. It's getting wet.
That was a hard shot that number 9 took that time for.
You're all right, Nady. Take your touch, Nady. Down line to Nate. Nico, run off Nate.
That was Horse at Tanisoff. Number 9 took a hard ball in the chest that time. But we're tied 1-1.
So while the players are playing tough, you can see the rain is slowing down the ball just a little bit, but these players are playing very well tonight. Despite the weather conditions, they're doing nice, crisp passes. Shots on goal have counted so far.
There's the ball in the middle. IPS stops it, sends it forward, and cleared away. Nice job defensively that time by Portland Internationals. Each team with a goal. And each goal, kind of the same, a hard driving shot off the ground by each goalie. 1-1.
So far we have seen Portland International has looked to get across from the outside, across, and that's been their form of attacking. Whereas IPS has been looking pass the ball around on the inside, creating opportunities for a goal.
Exactly. Good observation, Steve. Portland Internationals has tended to come down on the wings, whereas IPS has tended to come down and try to center a ball. You know, you mentioned the players out there and being affected by the rain. I look at the referees running up and down the side here. There's a shot, a hard driving shot wide to the right. That was from 30 yards out.
Yeah, he saw the goalie was a little bit far outside the net. He was hoping that if he could lift that ball over his head, not a bad idea. There were not many more options, and with the weather like it is, it's worth a shot.
All right, everybody out in the middle. The goalie kick. There's his kick. Nice driving kick.
Yeah, the goalies are doing a good job getting a foot on the ball. They're not letting the weather bother them too much.
Play at midfield, sent forward.
And this is what Portland International likes, to get that ball out on the wing like that.
Kick to midfield. Portland International send it back. Portland International has just joined us in the red with the white letters. IPS in the blue with the white letters. Semifinal matchup of the Oregon Premier Soccer League. There's a shot wide to left. Portland Internationals with a shot wide to the left.
So even though Portland International seems to keep the ball out on the wings, they just now showed that they do have some skill on the inside there. They can handle the ball in traffic if they need to.
Off on a wing. Here come Portland Internationals. The championship match, the two semifinal winners will meet December the 3rd. That's 2 weeks from tonight here at Buckman. IPS looks for a pass on a wing in the middle.
Nice job,
the
nice
ball.
pass there.
There's a shot, and
job by the
goalie
goalie.
saved that. That time the goalie stayed up, was right in front of the ball, and blocked it.
Nice job there. We have an opportunity here.
There's a shot, goalie down, and stops it.
Yep.
Nice job by the goalie. He got down on the ground, fell on the ball, and stopped it. No rebound, no putback.
So both goalies doing a good job. Despite the 1-1 score, they're doing a good job handling that ball in this weather.
Throw-in coming up, be a throw-in for the Portland Internationals.
Come on, boys. Not the time. Come on, Pico. Well done. Man. One on. Press. I got two now. See you, Jim. Get up. Let's play in their half. Get up. I know, but you guys have already turned 2 or 3 times right here because you got too many guys on you. Don't let it get out. Stay there. I don't want to put you in that. Here's the 12. Number 12. All the way over there. Let's throw it. My bad. I'll find you, Eric. My bad, buddy.
Throw-in, Portland Internationals.
I also noticed that IPS tends to take one touch and then pass game plan here. That keeps the ball moving quickly and creating many different opportunities. Defense always has to adjust. Portland International seems to want to take the ball a couple more touches, looking for a man in the flat, taking a little bit longer time to make their passes.
You know, Steve, there are many things that go together well. You and I go together well doing these broadcasts, but water and electricity, they do not go together so well.
Yeah.
I'm looking down at our microphones.
They're covered. I covered up the soundboard here. Hopefully that'll help it out a bit. Our power source is deep underneath the tent, so I think it's okay. So we got a goal kick coming.
There's the kick. Nice driving kick past midfield. Portland International's trying to get a run. Throw-in coming up. Throw-in for IPS. There's the throw-in. All right, throw-in coming up. There's the throw-in. Portland Internationals try to work the ball off on a wing, send it off to the right. Internationals. And the IPS tries to clear back to the goalie, sends it forward. There's the shot. That's high.
Way off. A little bit of frustration there, I think.
1-1 our score. International scored first. IPS evened it up. Both of those coming on goals in front, driving kicks past the goalie. Goalie kick. Sent forward, IPS looking for somebody. Have a couple of players forward. They're trying to stay on side. One to one our score. We're about halfway through the first half. Down the right wing, and there's a whistle.
A defensive player trying to keep the offensive player away from the ball until it went out, which is a common defensive move. As long as he's not pushing, he can use his body to guard the ball.
Play at midfield. There's a ball forward on the right. And it's just saved, did not go out of bounds. Now there's the call, throw-in coming up.
See what happens here. So actually, he's getting a free kick here. I guess he saw a little push there.
Exactly.
So this is almost as good as a corner kick coming up here.
Almost as good as a corner kick. Just inside the red line. Free kick. There's the ball in the middle.
Nice curve there.
Headed away. Nice job defensively that time by Portland Internationals. IPS with the ball.
This is what they do best right here on the inside. These nice little touch passes. They look inside. They have men crossing.
They look inside, and they do. They have men who cross inside right in front of the goal, trying to get a shot away that time and could not. They'll send it back.
And there's trouble here.
Goalie comes out. There's a little chip shot. Not going to be able to get to it. Opportunity there for IPS, unable to convert. There's a player pleading for a penalty for a foul call, not getting it. Goalie with the ball. Driving kick out to midfield. Goalie comes out, knocks that forward. And here comes IPS right back. They like to work it towards the center. Still in control. There's a shot. The goalie knocks that down. That shot would not have been on goal. It was just wide to the left, but the goalie came over and knocked it down. You were right, Steve. It's harder to curve the ball when in the rain.
Mm-hmm. Although they're giving it a good try here. It looks like the rain let up a little bit.
And the goalie clears that away. Nice job defensively by the goalie. Semifinal action here in the Oregon Premier Soccer League. This is IPS in the blue.
Let them play on that one.
IPS in the blue. In the red, Portland Internationals were tied at 1-1.
It looks like we have an injury here.
How you doing, Steve? You okay?
Yeah, my knees, you know. But I'm all right. I'm good. Game's good. I'm good.
Okay. If you're not familiar, Buckman Field has two artificial surfaces. Our game's going on here just to the north of us is the second semifinal. IPS with the ball. There's a kick forward. They tried to get it off on the right wing. Portland International sends the ball back. Have
Nice
a player
job
on the
here.
side.
Yep.
Nice pass. There's a centering pass towards the middle, and the goalie down on his knees stops that in the right corner. Okay, I don't know if you can see clearly. Is that number 1 in goal for Portland Internationals? Were you able to see, Steve?
Down here?
Yeah.
It looks like in the blue. It
Yes.
did look like a number 1 on it.
Let's see if I got a number, or if I got a name for the goalie for for Portland Internationals. I believe that is Bernardo Palma. Bernardo Palma in goal. Try to get you some of the players for Portland International while we got a chance. Number 18 is Cameron LaFleur. Number 22 is Jordan Selland. Number 2 is Jordan White. Number 20 is James Partee. Number 30, Daniel Tapia. Number 24 is Liviu Isaac Valenciano. Number 8 is Andre Santos. Number 29 is Vlad Pavlov. Number 12, I believe the goal scorer was Omar Gomez. And number 9 that we've seen playing here on the left wing up front, that's Boris Atanasov. Wanted to give you those names and numbers while we had a chance, because as it's raining, I'm not able to get the paper information out.
So Portland International just had a free kick and shot it a little bit long on the far side of the goal.
IPS comes forward.
Oh,
Inside.
yeah, that's
IPS has 3 players up there. There's a
It's
shot
not
blocked
away.
by the
There's-
goalie.
oh, goalie again manages to block it.
Goalie blocked that first shot that was a hard shot on the ground. It came free on a rebound, and the shooter right behind got a shot off, and the goalie blocked that, land on the ground. Nice job, Bernardo Palma, the goalie.
It's good heads-up play there. IPS taking advantage of that nice inside play, small ball play inside there where they get those men crossing and passing.
1-1 our score here at Buckman Field. Oregon Premier Soccer League semifinal. IPS versus Portland Internationals. Just so you know, the other semifinal matchup that's going on the other field, that's Kells Swoosh Football Club versus JBAC. That's the other semifinal. The winner of that will play the winner of the IPS and Portland Internationals semifinal.
Oh, open net here. Will he get it in? We got defense. Oh, he is going to remember that when he goes home tonight. So the IPS player was able to get an open net. Goalie came out. He was able to touch the ball around the goalie. Got one touch on it, a little bit hard, and the defender was able to kick it away.
And cleared it out up over the goal. We've got a player down.
You don't get those opportunities very often there, so when you don't convert them, you think about it for a little while.
IPS player still had his hands on his head just a second ago on his head. He got the opportunity that everybody looks for, got around the goalie, open net, came in, and the defender just got to him, deflected that ball up over the net.
So it looks like our injured player is up. Looks like he's staying on the pitch.
Goalie takes, Palma takes a spot back in the net. He got a lucky break that time.
So we got a corner coming here.
Corner kick coming up, our first corner kick. This is IPS from the left side. A high ball curving in, it goes past and kicked back towards the goal and then cleared out of bounds.
So we'll get another corner here.
Somebody told me that on corner kicks it's best to keep the ball low.
Well, you know, there was a Portland International did kick a low corner kick over here when they got their corner.
Each team now with one corner kick. IPS tries to work forward. They'll go back and start it forward now. There's the ball in front. The goalie comes out and gets that, not taking any more chances.
I know teams that have tall, nice tall players, they will tend to want to get a high corner kick so they can take advantage of their height.
Get a header in on the goal.
Yeah.
IPS. Right now, IPS seems to be controlling more of the offensive action. There's the ball tipped up. Goalie goes back and gets that. IPS.
He's got nice running room here if he can find that pass.
One more pass, there's a shot.
Oh, nice job by the goalie. I'm surprised he didn't see number 4 over there unless he was offside.
IPS had 4 players forward. They had one out here on the right, one on the left, and one in the middle. And the shooter came down, took a look, and then decided to let it go himself.
Yes, I'm surprised he didn't see that wing player there. He may have been offsides. That may have been why he didn't make the pass.
Result, though, no goal.
There's that low corner kick there.
Yep. That's 2 corner kicks for IPS now, and that was a low kick. IPS with the ball. That was a great play when they had 4 players coming down, and they were perfectly spaced on the right, on the left, and in the middle. There is a shot off the post.
Oh.
The goalie was out defending and caught out of position, and a header and it hit the post.
Yeah, that's what you call lucky.
Well, that's the goalie's had 2 lucky breaks now here in about 2 minutes. Again, we're tied 1-1. Portland International scored first. IPS evened it up. Throw-in coming up. Be a throw-in for IPS. Let's see if I can figure out about where we are on the time. There's no clock here. We started this at about 7:05. It's 7:49. So, is that right? Yes. So we're very close to the end of the first half.
It was feeling that way also.
Is that your inner clock?
Yeah, when you play sports long enough, you begin to feel what the time is like.
So we're very close to the end of the first half, 1-1.
Although we did have an injury out there.
Maybe what, a minute, 2 minutes? So we're close to the end of the first half. The goalie comes out. The goalie's came out a couple of times, got him in trouble twice.
Yeah, but he got to go score on him by his defense, allowing offensive player behind him. He's not going to take any chances for that happening again. We might got an ankle or a knee. I'm not sure.
Yep, he's up.
No, he's up.
I'm not sure how much time we're going to take at at halftime. We'll keep it here. IPS and cleared out. Knocked out by Portland Internationals.
So IPS has been knocking on that go a couple of times down here. You know, they are feeling it. They know they're getting close. They do very well in crowd, so we'll see what happens on this possession. A little bit of misunderstanding there.
IPS seems to be coming forward and getting more people up on the net. Coming forward quickly, Portland International picked up by the goalie.
Yeah, they do a good job of keeping their triangles, giving themselves two passes, nice short passes, but always looking for the long pass in the flat.
IPS.
See, there it is in the flat, that man crossing.
Again, they had three players right in perfect position coming forward, just not able to get a shot at goal.
Yeah, one of their players there likes to do this little pass off of his heel. He wasn't able to make it happen that time.
1-1 our score was we near halftime.
And this is where Portland International is good if they can get in the flat, but again, not able to find a player.
Ball right in front of us.
That time must be going any minute now.
There's a whistle and there's a push. And players that time, referee let that go.
Yeah, I basically said your team kept possession, we're playing. So now sometimes the ref will let it go if there's no advantage gained. You know, if it's not a flagrant and no advantage gained there, he'll let it go.
That was a carry over from a little bit of action those two players had a minute earlier. There's a shot. Goalie gets his hands up, knocks it down, and then picks it up.
Nice long pass this time.
Well, internationals come forward. They're in the red jerseys, white shorts, white lettering. IPS blue jerseys. Play at midfield. And there's a collision and two players go down.
Good field position here for IPS. We'll see what they can make out of this. Again, they get players out on both flats. They were trying to get something to happen quick there, but they're going to take their time on this one. I imagine they can feel it's close to the end of the period.
Free kick coming up.
You know, they got 7 players up here, so we'll see what happens, what they'll make out of this.
Halftime, I want to talk to you about a situation like this I saw in a game recently. A ball in the middle, cleared away. You can hear the players yelling quick. They realize it's close to halftime. I think somebody just said to the ref how much time remaining. Portland International send it towards the middle. Off on a
wing. Trouble
wing.
here. He gets a good touch on it, good shot. Goalie is there though.
Nice job by the goalie.
Okay, there we go. I think that's the period there.
That's the whistle. That's the end of the period, or end of the first half. Our score at the end of the half. Portland Internationals won, IPS won in this semifinal matchup of the Oregon Premier Soccer League. other game is also at halftime across from us. The 2 semifinal matches here, and then the championship game will be December the 3rd. So Steve, your comments here on the first half.
I think IPS definitely controlled the ball, had more possession time on the ball. They look good on the inside there. They do very well with triangling, passing the ball shorts, looking at the cutters coming across, and they've got more opportunities, more shots on goal because of that. Portland International moves the ball back up the pitch very quickly. They get down, but they just haven't been able to find the opportunities. The defense on IPS has done very good of stopping them. The goalie has done a good job on IPS too. Well, actually, both goalies have been doing a pretty good job tonight.
It just seems to me like offensively, IPS has been more dominant here in the first half. They've gotten more actual shots away. When Portland International has came down, they've been able to get the ball and they've been able to get it on the wings. They just can't get anything into the middle, and as a result, haven't got many shots away.
Yeah, they don't seem to have the same I call it small ball play. That's when the players are playing tight. You'll see them forming different triangles. You'll see them cutting. And they're doing a one-touch pass. Sometimes they're passing right off the pass. Sometimes they're taking one touch to control and then passing. They're not wasting any time dribbling the ball. They're moving the ball very quickly and looking for opportunities that way.
I want to tell you about a situation I saw in a game recently. This was in a high school playoff game, and it was a free kick, and it was from about 30 yards out. And the player lined up to take the kick. Of course, the wall formed, and players got in position and everything. And the guy who was going to take the kick took about 4 or 5 steps back. And when he did, one of the players on his team ran forward and stood right in front of the goalie. Stood right in the front of the goalie. The goalie, of course, was in the area of the goal, and stood right in front of him. And then the guy ran forward and kicked the ball and kicked it right in the net.
Okay.
You know, and the player who had run forward clearly screened the goalie. Now, some people in the fans were yelling it was offsides. The referee, though, said the ruling was that as long as the player who ran forward didn't get involved in the play, didn't touch the ball or do anything else, that it was a legal play. I know the coach of the one team, nobody had seen it. Nobody knew what to think about the whole thing.
Okay.
The referee, though, ruled it a legal play and ruled it a goal.
Yeah, usually, offsides is a different, there has to be an intent or the player can actually get to the ball. Sometimes they'll wait till the player actually touches the ball to call the offsides, even though the player may be lined up offsides, because it's very easy for a player, when the teams are changing possession very quickly, it's very easy for a player to get caught offsides without intentionally being there. So they won't make that call unless the player is actually involved in the play. I can see that happening there. You see players screening goalies quite often. The goalie really should have positioned himself, or actually he might have been able to block the player a little bit if he had read that early enough as the player was coming across. Believe me, that goalie will never let that happen to him again.
He didn't know what to think, and and they had timed it. Obviously, they'd worked on that play because as the guy backed up, the guy ran forward to screen the goalie, so that the minute he was standing in front of the goalie was when the guy kicked the ball. Yeah,
players can move as the kicker is getting ready. You'll see players move and get into position, but obviously that was something that was thought about. Most likely the coaches who designed that, they looked at the rules very carefully. I would not be surprised if they didn't even consult officials before the game, how they would call that play there.
Right, that's a good thing to do. I never thought of that.
Oh yeah, I every now and then when I was coaching, if there was a trick play in football that I was going to try, I go over to the officials and say, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Is there anything illegal? And show them the design. And usually they're not giving you an advantage. They're just giving you an interpretation of the rules. And that's what they're there for.
Remember that famous football play in the late 70s, the fumble-rooski that Nebraska ran, and they had actually cleared that with the referee before the game started. This is what we're going to do. What do you think about that? Is that going to be acceptable? And referee rule it was. Players back out on the field, so obviously the teams agreed to take a short break there. When we start, I'll get a time on that, and we'll know then about when the 45 minutes will be up for the second half. 1-1 our score. In front of us, in the blue and the white, that is IPS. In the red and the white, That's Portland Internationals. We're tied at 1 here in this semifinal action in the Oregon Premier Soccer League. It's 8 o'clock right now, so about 8:45, this game will be close to being over.
So again, we still have a good game here. You know, Portland International has been playing well. You know, anytime, they just haven't been able to break through that back line of defense clearly to get the opportunities they want. Some of their shots on goal have come from quite far out. IPS has done a good job at managing the ball, even in this weather. You know, they tend to take one touch, pass, or sometimes on the first touch they'll pass, which keeps the ball moving quite rapidly.
There's the ball forward. The goalie comes out, gets that.
You know, I've heard, I believe it's IPS players talking about getting the first touch on the ball. Basically, whenever the ball is a little bit loose, a long pass is made, they're going to hustle to get a first touch on the ball. That way they can get possession over the other team.
Okay.
It was a common thing that when I was coaching girls, I would always want them to get first touch on, especially long balls. It's a mental thing, too, when the other team is always getting possession that way.
I recently followed a team, a high school team, to the state finals, and their coach talked about first touch all the time. Forward on a wing down here. Here comes.
That's good. Too bad it took that kind of skip out bounce there and went out of bounds on him.
Portland International, so let's go out. It'll be throw in by IPS. There's the throw in. That noise you hear, the loud banging noise, that is actually rain hitting the metal bleachers where our crowd mics are. So, all right, throw in coming up here. There's a shot forward by IPS. IPS cleared away. Portland Internationals with the ball on the right wing.
Nice pass there, a little bit too hard though. You hear the players talking to each other there. They're giving each other pointers, helping each other out. Good teams always communicate.
Go long, go long. Turn that way, turn that way. Listen to me.
That is the players communicating with each other. Our crowd mic is picking up right in front of us.
Okay, Portland International is getting good ball motion here. Oh, but we got an offsides.
Offsides. Portland International offsides. One our score. We're early on in the second half. Goalie going to come out and get that. And that goes out. Be a throw-in coming up. Throw-in for IPS. We got a player down. Referee will come over.
So again, IPS has done a good job maintaining possession.
All right, the player is up.
Portland International will have opportunity here with a corner kick.
Corner kick towards the middle, and
I think the official waved that off. He did not blow the ball in play yet.
so we'll do that again. Corner kick for Portland International. All right, the referee signals. Now blows the whistle. Here comes the kick. A little shorter towards the middle. Goalie goes up and gets that. Nice job.
Is that a new goalie we have in there? Same goalie, huh?
Same goalie.
Okay.
Goalie for Portland International, Bernardo Palma. IPS throws it in, knocked back. Here comes forward, knocked away. Still with the ball, there's a long kick. Goalie up, and I believe tipped that over the crossbar. That might have gone in.
Yeah, it was a nice shot to the far corner of the post there, and goalie did get hands on it to knock it away.
That might have gone in just under the crossbar.
Yeah.
Goalie got up, got his hands stretched out as far as he could get them. Tipped that up over the middle.
That's the first time we saw that kind of sweeping kick from outside like that by IPS.
Exactly. They have been concentrating on getting the ball in the middle and getting action in the middle. First time they've taken a shot from a wing.
So maybe they decided to make a few adjustments and see if that would help them out here.
IPS with the ball. Sends it forward too far. Goalie gets that. Bernardo Palma. And that ball goes out. Rain has really picked up again. Long kick. Both goalies got great kicks. IPS sends it back on the start of play. Tried to chip it into the middle. Play at midfield.
Got some room over here. Defense got split there a bit. Nice touch pass inside. Oh, but they lose it.
Off on the right wing. IPS comes forward.
And you see there, he's got three other people running with him on the far side. If he can make this cross, make something interesting happen, well.
Chipped it and it went over the net. Over the goal. Again, though, IPS came forward and they had three players moving with the ball.
Portland International did do a good job. They kept their defense spread out there and was able to mark everyone. So maybe it forced a shot like that. We have a sub coming in. Number 29's now on. He's out on the wing, gets his first touch. We'll see what he can do here. These are some fresh legs.
Blocked. Portland Internationals with the ball. They would like to shoot from the wing. Cleared out though. Nice job defensively by IPS. IPS comes forward. Have a player on the wing. Throw in, there's the throw in. IPS with the ball. IPS goes back and gets this. They'll start a play over as they come forward. That goes out.
So again, the rain has come down pretty hard here. Both teams are looking for opportunities. Play has kind of slowed a bit, I would say. We're not getting quite the crisp passes as we got before.
IPS goalie gets that. There's a high driving kick. And that's out. Throw in coming up. Throw in for IPS. And that's out. That'll be another throw in for IPS. Throw in towards the middle. Kick into the middle. Ball's loose. There's a shot over the net. Right in front, a shot.
I think they're going to give him a corner on that. No? Or did he call it to the goal? I guess it's a free kick, a goal kick.
Goal kick.
So we got another sub coming in here.
I noticed neither one of the teams have a tent over there, so subs are coming in. They're just as wet as the players out on the field. Goalie kick, Bernardo Palma. There's out of bounds. Throw in coming up. How many soccer games have we done recently, Steve, where we've had trains and police cars in the background?
You know, I was just thinking about there's nothing like an urban soccer game going on, and you getting all the sounds of the city at once going on.
Exactly. Throw in for Portland Internationals. There's the throw. Try to send it to the middle. And cleared away by IPS. We're bringing you this game, of course, with audio. The other game, which is going on the other field, our producer, Ryan Johnson, is running a camera. We're just doing the video on that. I looked over there, and I could see him sitting in the stands under a little tent.
Yeah.
IPS with the ball again. 1-1 our score.
Again, that's a nice first touch pass there to get the player inside. Portland International gets possession, though.
1-1 our score. Both teams with a goal in the first half. Portland International scored first. IPS evened it up. We're about 15 minutes into the second half. So we have about 30 minutes of play to go. Goal kick coming up. IPS.
So IPS looking for opportunity here.
IPS sends it off on the right wing. We've got a couple of players in the middle. There's a shot.
Oh.
And they tried to cover the left side of the net that time. Had a player coming in. Couldn't get to the ball, though.
I think there might have been a whistle. I'm not sure, but it was an interesting play there. It was very close with that player on the far side.
I did hear a whistle, so. And this is a goal kick coming up. Portland International moves forward. There's the ball in the middle and cleared away. Nice job defensively by IPS.
We'll get another opportunity here.
Portland International.
Nice. They missed a player on the inside there.
A crossing kick that went right across the goal mouth. Nobody there, though.
Now, that was a missed opportunity there. The offensive player did a nice job of crossing that ball away from the goalie.
You heard one of the players in front of us screaming for the ball. There's a play in the middle, nobody there. A crossing kick right in front again the other way.
Both teams have done a good job moving that ball at the pitch.
IPS takes it away.
Ref lets that one play on.
Well, fortunately, my resume does say Dome Stadium game on it. I've done the game in the Tacoma Dome.
Nice.
And
nice.
I was just thinking of
Was
how
that this year?
No,
No?
how
Okay.
wonderful. I followed a football team that went to the state championship and was played at the Tacoma Dome, the Ridgefield Spudders.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually won the championship. I did their game.
Well, you know, I've driven through northern Arizona, and some of the small high schools have these bubbles over their fields.
Right.
So that they can play games during the snow and the cold rain there.
I know stadiums in central Ohio, football stadiums like where I came from, that seat 25,000 people. Portland International.
Looking for opportunity here.
Taken away. IPS doing a good job on the back line defensively. Play kind of has gone to the midfield here.
Yeah, we're getting a lot more play in the midfield. Not as many shots down near the goal. Both teams tightening it up here.
Our engineer cameraman, Jim Thompson. Jim, how are you doing? You doing okay? I don't know if our microphone picked that up, but he yelled, "I'm freezing." There's a play forward.
Oh, this
IPS can't get
to
there.
it. Good try, good look there.
There's the whistle. Penalty.
Oh,
There's a yellow
got
card. The player, as he went down for the tackle, kind of rolled into the other player. So it's a yellow card.
I think he was running behind the player and kind of
Rolled into him?
yeah.
All right, it's a yellow card. Free kick coming up for Portland International.
He didn't have a clear play at the ball. Brings a little pause in our play here. They look for an opportunity.
There's a kick into the middle and knocked away. IPS comes down with it. They'll send it back to the goalie. Palma kicks it way forward. One to one our score here at Buckman Field. Oregon Premier Soccer League action, semifinals. This is IPS and Portland Internationals. Winner of this game will advance to the championship December the 3rd. Right now we're even up 1-1. I'm Dave Hall along with Steve Roberts, our producer engineer Jim Thompson. Thanks for joining us here on Oregon Sports Beat. We bring you live sports action, all kinds of sports action, lots of high school sports action.
Oh, we got a man near goal. He gets across, but it's picked up by the defense. Oh, we got a nice run here. We'll see if there's an opportunity. He doesn't have many with him, but he does manage to get across the one.
Portland International trying to set something up. They go back out on a wing. There's a shot that'll be high over the crossbar. I mentioned we do lots of high school sports action. Recently, we did high school playoff soccer games in Medford, Brookings, Seaside, and Newport.
Goalies have been doing a nice job of getting those kicks off tonight.
Teams start their offensive play, about 20 yards past midfield. One thing I've noticed, Steve, is a lot of the players pulling on their socks. And it's because they've become waterlogged and are falling down.
Yeah, and they actually have a pad. They have a shin guard in there, too, so it makes it a little bit heavier. Portland International looking for an opportunity here.
1-1 our score.
IPS doing a nice job getting back on defense, always outnumbering them.
Exactly. That's when I look out there, I notice that IPS has got more defenders back. on the right wing. See if we can get a centering pass. And be a goal kick. Another great goal kick. That's going to go out of bounds, though. Throw in coming up. Portland International on the throw in.
So you hear them there. They're marking up very tight, playing a tight defense. They don't want to get any open opportunities.
Down the left wing. See if we
He
can get a
does
shot
have
in the
somebody.
middle.
He does have somebody far, but again, just not able to find that opportunity inside there. I think maybe taking a bit too many touches before passing it.
Might be. Here comes Portland International forward. And there's a kick wide, way wide to the right.
Yeah, he's not very, tried to get that ball, tried to get around on the ball, but he was at a very awkward angle there. You see the players look like they're all huddling closer to the
Yes.
center of the field right now. Portland International's done a good job of getting possession back quickly.
On the left wing, send it into the middle. Portland
There
International
he
has
is.
a
Now
player.
oh, he didn't see the man on there. He finds him there a little bit late, but
And cleared out by IPS. And throw in coming up. Throw in for IPS.
so we still have a 1-1 score as we enter, I'd say, the latter part of the second period, huh?
And there's a whistle.
Oh, I see that yellow card out. I don't know what, yeah.
Yes, yellow card.
That card was out of his pocket very early.
Okay, well, I've got us about 25 minutes into the second half, so about 20 more minutes to go. Again, no clock on the field. We don't have a clock or a scoreboard.
So looks like we got an injured player. He's taking a little while. He's up on his knees.
Where's climate change when we need it?
If I wasn't in Portland, if I was Southern California, I would tell you this is climate change. So injured player is up. I'm not sure if he's still on the field or not. Looks like we got a free kick that they're going to treat almost like an outside corner.
1-1, each team with a goal in the first half. Portland International, the first goal. There's a play into the middle, cleared away. IPS got the equalizer. We've had no scoring since the middle of the first half.
You better watch that. got a kick here.
Hey, let's go. Talk to him, Coach. Up in there, Vlad. Up in there, Vlad.
Nice long kick. And that's going to go out. That'll be a throw-in coming up. No, I'm sorry, a goal kick coming up. Free kick, IPS sends it forward. Be a throw-in coming up for Portland Internationals. Goalie clears that away. That's going to go out, way out.
So both teams now playing in spurts, looking for opportunities, feeling something might happen. They pick up their energy and play.
Throw in, IPS. Still with the ball. Looking to get something in the middle, cleared out by Portland Internationals. IPS in blue, Portland Internationals in red. We're halfway through the first half.
Nice pass there.
IPS.
Another nice pass there.
Shot blocked in front.
Defense just happened to be in the right place that time.
There's a chip in towards the middle, cleared away. Nice job defensively that time by Portland Internationals. Sent back to the goalie.
I also noticed that IPS comes to the pass more often than Portland International, which might be one of the reasons why they're having more success in their passing game.
Ball loose in the middle, cleared away. Dangerous situation. IPS that time had 3 players forward.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened there to get that pass back like that.
IPS with the ball in front
Oh.
and cleared out by the goalie. Nice job defensively.
Yeah, good job there on the defense. Seemed to have been a little mix-up over there, and IPS came up with the ball.
Yes, some kind of mix-up. Here comes IPS down the left wing, sends it back.
So we got a man down. He's been down a bit. Ref let him play on here.
All right, we're just going to go over and take a look. All right, the player's up. It's a player for Portland Internationals. We'll have, I believe, a substitute coming in. Still walking pretty gingerly.
Yeah, it looks like he's going off, though. Huh? No, he's off.
Right, a substitute did come on. IPS sending long passes forward. They're clearly trying to get a start on the offense.
Yeah, I think both teams are picking up a sense of urgency here. We must be getting down to about the 15-minute mark, huh?
Mm-hmm. Coming forward, Portland International's
Oh,
a
nice shot.
and a goal. Portland International, the goalie came out, the shooter had the angle and just shot it over his head.
You know, Portland International finally found that outside wingman there. They had good numbers that time, too. I think there was like a 4-on-3 there. Once that player got alone, the goalie had no opportunity but to go out, and he was able to do a nice shot over the goalie's head into the far corner.
All right, we're 13 minutes with whatever added time for the injuries. So at that mark, Portland International now goes ahead 2-1. Last time when they got the lead at 1-0, the IPS came back within the next 5 minutes and got a catch-up goal. So 2-1 Portland International leads here in this semifinal in the Oregon Premier Soccer League. Here comes Portland International forward again.
Nice inside move there. Will he see the pass? Gets tripped.
And there's a whistle. Players up. Free kick coming up.
Dangerous spot right here for a free kick.
Dangerous spot. Pretty much from the right side, and you have the whole left side of the goal there.
So we'll see how they line up here.
IPS going to set up defensively. Looks like he's going to try to bend this ball from left to right. Goalie standing in the left part. There's the shot. Goalie goes down and gets it. Nice kick and nice save.
Yeah, did a very good job to get it around that wall.
Left-footed kick. 2-1 our score. Portland International in the lead. They scored the first goal. They just scored the lead goal.
Yeah, Portland International's been able to take advantage of that outside shot there and found a breakthrough and had the numbers to keep the defense spread, and they were able to find the goal.
Cleared out by Portland International. IPS, we need to make a concerted effort now to get the ball forward. And that ball going to go out. Goal kick. Both goalies have played well in this game.
Yeah, they have. Given the conditions, they've both done a very good job.
And still in play. Portland International sends it down the right wing.
Ball stays, takes a nice bounce, stays in play.
Ball in play. Portland International.
Oh, Oh, nice job.
Ball
to sneak
comes
that in there.
loose. A shot. That goalie goes down and gets
Nice
it.
job by the goalie there.
Protecting the right corner of the goal. Went down on the ground and got that. Nice save.
Portland International finding some good opportunities here late in this period.
There's a whistle.
Like we got a sub here.
Free kick coming up for IPS.
You see Portland International has all their players back this time.
There's a ball in the middle cleared. Nice job defensively by Portland Internationals. There's a ball behind the net.
Looks like we got a corner coming up here.
Towards the middle and headed out. IPS got everybody up by the net. Got one player back defensively, but again, Portland International's got everybody back.
Oh yeah, they got everybody back on defense. We got a sub coming in the middle here.
There's the throw in. Nice footwork by Portland Internationals. And send that ball down. Portland International is trying to take advantage of IPS only having one player back defensively, but not able to get downfield. Here comes IPS. And that ball cleared ahead. That ball is going to stay in bounds.
And they're just not getting the moment. I think he thought his player was going to cut across there, but they managed to get the ball back.
Portland Internationals comes forward, have a player on the left wing, sends it towards the middle, and that's offside.
Offside there. So it seems like we had a switch in momentum there about halfway through the period, and Portland International picked it up and was able to score a goal, and they seem to keep the momentum even now. IPS looking for an opportunity.
IPS sends it forward.
Got some numbers here. Got a good opportunity.
There's the ball tipped.
So IPS had an opportunity there. Goalie was able to tip that ball up high, keep it out of play. Oh, it must have been an IPS player who got the ball tipped out of play.
Goalie kick. Bernardo Palma, goalie for Portland Internationals. All right, free kick. IPS sends it forward. They try to hit a player coming down the wing. Instead, the goalie goes and gets that, falls down on the ball. They were trying to get a winger on the right. The ball Portland Internationals. You can hear some of the players yelling, "Hold the ball."
Yeah, Portland International has lead, and they're not in any hurry. They want to keep possession of the ball, but they want to find a very good opportunity to take another strike, let that clock tick down some minutes.
Free kick.
That must be the other game there whistling its finish.
Portland International's a driving kick, and the goalie gets that. It was on goal. The goalie saved it. IPS with the ball, trying to get forward.
That's it. That's it. I think that's the match there.
It is the match. I'm a little surprised. I didn't look at my watch here.
No, we didn't. He didn't. The ref called no injury timeouts. I think that time are very few, if any.
Okay, we got about the right time there. All right, this match is over. This semifinal match is over. Kind of caught us by surprise there, but it it is over. The time I show is 45 minutes exactly. So this game is over. Semifinal matchup. This match was won by Portland International's 2-1 over IPS, and they will advance to the finals of the Oregon Premier Soccer League championship match. That will be Sunday night, December the 3rd. And if you'll watch the website for Oregon Sports Beat, we'll be able to give you the time and the exact field location for that game. So this game is over here. Steve, final comments?
You know, it was a good game. Both teams played well. IPS did a very good job of ball control, equalizing the game, and really kept momentum of the ball for quite a while then. Portland International, though, that second part of the second period, they found some momentum there, and they didn't give it up. They were able to score the goal, keep possession, come back, got a couple more strikes on goal. You know, it's one of those stories where it's not over until it's over, and Portland International showed that they should be advancing on.
You know, for a long time, the momentum in this game was with IPS.
Oh, yeah.
Both in the late first half and early in the second half. They clearly had the momentum in the game, but couldn't turn it into any scores, and as a result, Portland International's come up with a 2-1 win.
That's right.
All right, want to thank you for joining us tonight here at Buckman Field as we brought you semifinal action, and Portland International is advancing to the championship game. Our producer-engineer tonight, Jim Thompson, looks relieved that the game is over. I think the players are relieved that the game is over, and we certainly are relieved. So on behalf of my broadcast partners, Steve Roberts, I'm Dave Hall. Our final score from Buckman Field in the semifinal of the Oregon Premier Soccer League. Portland International advances to the championship game with a 2-1 win over IPS. Good night, everybody.